Mangwanani malelepo fukenjani class vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa. Good morning. This is your trusted source for the biggest headlines shaping our continent and beyond. Now we're coming to you on DSTV channel 285, GoTV 25, oneup2.com, and Network Media Hub on YouTube. On today's show, we begin with a historic and solemn moment for the global Catholic community as Pope Francis has died at the age of 88, closing a deeply transformative chapter in the church's history. We also bring you critical developments from Zambia, where public outcry is growing after President Hakainde Hichilema quietly signed the controversial Cybersecurity and Cyber Crimes Act into law. Mike Sichula will deliver that. On the economic front, there's a ray of hope as Moody's upgrades Zambia's outlook to positive. Over in Zimbabwe with Talent Gore, tensions rise as war veteran Blessed Geza calls for nationwide shutdowns until President Mnangagwa resigns, while protests by lecturers are met with force. We have all that and more, including your regional reports, economic indicators, and weather, right here on Africa Good Morning with Ashwin Berry. Top story shortly.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Let's get into the top stories on Africa Good Morning. Pope Francis, who led the Roman Catholic Church through a turbulent and transformative era, has died at the age of 88, the Vatican announced on Monday. The first pope from Latin America and a member of the Jesuit order, he spent over a decade challenging tradition with calls for institutional reform, social justice, and greater compassion toward the marginalized. Despite recent health issues, he made a final public appearance on Easter Sunday, watching from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica as an aide read his heartfelt plea for peace in Gaza and the Democratic Republic of Congo, where he said too many continue to suffer in silence. His death comes just weeks after being discharged from hospital, marking the close of a papacy that often defied convention while leaving an indelible mark on the global church. The Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, has suspended the political party of former President Joseph Kabila and ordered the seizure of his assets, accusing him of high treason over alleged connections to the M23 rebel group. The Interior Ministry announced the suspension of the People's Party for Reconstruction and Democracy, citing the party's ambiguous attitude towards the M23's occupation of Congolese territory, which has intensified violence in the mineral-rich eastern provinces. In a separate statement, the Justice Ministry confirmed that prosecutors had been instructed to begin proceedings against Kabila and other senior PPRD officials, though no formal charges have been filed yet. The 53-year-old former leader has not commented publicly, but his spokesperson stated he would address the nation in the coming hours or days. The Ugandan government is moving to introduce legislation that would allow military tribunals to try civilians for certain offenses, despite a recent Supreme Court ruling that barred the practice. Human rights groups and opposition politicians have long accused President Yoweri Museveni's administration of using military courts to suppress political dissent, charges the government denies. In January, the Supreme Court mandated the transfer of civilian cases, including that of opposition figure Kizza Besigye, from military to civilian courts. But Justice Minister Norbert Mao announced that a new law has been drafted to legally restore the military's authority over civilians in exceptional circumstances. A Tunisian court has sentenced dozens of opposition figures, activists, and lawyers to lengthy prison terms on charges of conspiracy and terrorism in what critics are calling a politically motivated crackdown. Among the 40 defendants, many tried in absentia, are prominent leaders of the National Salvation Front, Tunisia's main opposition coalition, who were arrested in 2023. Issam Chebi and Jawad Ben Mbarek, both in detention, received 18-year sentences, while activist and businessman Kamel El Taif was sentenced to 66 years, according to defense lawyers. Human rights groups have condemned the trial as a thinly veiled attempt to silence dissent under President Kais Saied's increasingly authoritarian rule. Since taking office in 2019 and suspending parliament, Saied has jailed political opponents and consolidated power, winning re-election last year in a landslide amid accusations of repression. You are still with Africa Good Morning. Shortly, we're going to be getting the Zambia report delivered by Mike Sichula. It's now time for us to talk to Mike Sichula in Zambia as he delivers the Zambia report. Mike Odibanji.
Bueno, Monibwanji, Africa, good morning, dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now, Mike, Zambians have been left disappointed after it emerged that President Hakainde Hichilema had signed into law a cybersecurity bill.
Something that Zambians did not expect President Hakainde Hichilema to sign because prior to the 2021 elections in 2021 in August, President Hakainde Hichilema told Zambians that the bill that became law that his predecessor, Mr. Edgar Lungu, had signed, once he came into office, he was going to repeal it because that law was meant to suppress the presence on social media platforms. So that was a promise that President Hakainde Hichilema made. And because of that, his signing of the law under his administration 4 years after attaining office has disappointed Zambians. Then the second reason why Zambians are disappointed is that, as you can see from the newspaper headline there, the information uh, uh, became known to Zambians through a publication that was issued by the United States government, warning its citizens coming to Zambia that when you come to Zambia, there's a new law that government has enacted to intercept phone calls and emails. So because of that, Zambians were left disappointed because they thought their elected government, led by President Hakainde Hichilema, was supposed to be the first to inform Zambians that that law that was going under review has now become law, and you need to pay attention to it so that you're not caught unaware. So those two reasons are the many factors that have made Zambians to be annoyed with President Hakainde Hichilema. On the other hand, the government has assured citizens that the law is not meant to siphon their freedom of expressions on social media. But the law is meant to ensure that there's sanity on social media. A number of sectors, like the banking sector, have welcomed the bill that has become law, saying that it will ensure that there are no more activities of fraud and scamming on social media, using social media platforms. But from the political front, as an example, political party leaders are arguing that this law is meant to curtail the distribution of informations. For instance, if there's an election and they have set up their own parallel voter tabulation to disseminate information with the elections going on. This law is going to be very strict on people that could be disseminating such information, which may not be coming from the legitimate bodies such as the Electoral Commission of Zambia. So it is a law that a number of us have said it is wrong. And also the government of Zambia has reacted to the US saying that what the United States of America published was not very factual in as far as warning its citizens that Zambians will be intercepting emails and phone calls of private citizens. So they have denied, saying that it was not the factual way that the Americans reported on the law.
I mean, understandable concern right there, Mike. Now, moving on to some slightly more positive news. Rating agency Moody's has upgraded Zambia's economic outlook from stable to positive.
Yeah, quite some positive news indeed for Zambia. And according to economist Lubinda Havazoka, he has described the Moody's recent upgrade of Zambia's economic outlook as essential for job creation and poverty reduction. Dr. Havazoka says the upgrade is crucial for increasing foreign direct investment and enhancing access to capital markets. He added that the upgrade can further improve Zambia's financial standing and facilitate access to favorable financing terms. And also, our viewers may wish to know that Zambia's economy grew by 4.4% under the period when the country was experiencing drought. The country also was faced with the COVID, and also that the country at some point came under pressure with the low productivity because of electricity that was low due to low water levels, for instance, at the Kariba Dam, which is shared between Zambia and Zimbabwe. As a result of that, because of the economy remaining resilient despite these natural disasters that affected the country, so this outlook has come at a time that Zambia is seemingly to be on the right path in terms of economic revival. And also the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mstumbeko Msokotwane, spoke to this upgrade, saying that this upgrade has come timely because the measures that the new Dawn administration has put up in place are meant to increase Zambia's gross domestic product going into the second term of the United Party for Nation of the UPND, which according to President Hakainde Hichilema is meant to double the country's GDP if he's given a second term, that is from 2026 next year. So it is a positive outlook for Zambia, and a number of economists are hoping that the government of Zambia are going to ensure that what this positive outlook has been made is also going to trickle down to local members of the business community here in Zambia.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike, for delivering the Zambia report.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. We're going to have a look at the economic indicators just before Talent Gore joins us from Zimbabwe. It's time to get into the Zimbabwe report with Talent Gore, Talent Homkase.
Samke bikana mamkase Africa.
Tamuka Hedu. Now, Talent, Blessed Geza, former ZANU-PF Central Committee member, now fugitive, who had previously called for the 31 March protests, is now calling for an indefinite stay away until President Emmerson Mnangagwa resigns.
Yes, once again, Blessed Geza, who is now a critique of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has called for an indefinite stay away from businesses until President Emmerson Mnangagwa resigns. He said that this was the final push for President Emmerson Mnangagwa to step down as the president. He said that everyone should stay at home. Initially, he had called for a stay away on the 22nd, which is today, and the 23rd of April. But he then said that what Zimbabwe needs is an indefinite stay away from businesses, from day-to-day operations, up until President Emmerson Mnangagwa has stepped down. Comrade Geza urged Zimbabweans to stay home and not return to work until President Emmerson Mnangagwa steps down. He said businesses should offer food to citizens for free, promising that a new government would compensate them. Geza alleged that the president is no longer fit to govern due to what he claimed as vascular dementia, and accused unelected individuals of making critical national decisions at private meetings held at President Emmerson Mnangagwa's farm. He also claimed that an impeachment process was being delayed by parliament leadership under pressure from the executive, while MPs were being bribed with state funds to protect President Emmerson Mnangagwa. So right now, as of now, I haven't stepped outside. I don't know if businesses have opened or they have not, but we're going to be monitoring the situation to see if the citizens have actually taken heed of Geza's call. We're going to be monitoring shops, businesses, to see if people are going about their day-to-day businesses, or if people have actually decided to listen to what Blessed Geza is saying.
All right, Talent, and we're going to stay with the same story because we have to get into the government response, where the government said Blessed Geza's days are numbered.
Yes, Information Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister, also the spokesperson of the government, has said that war veteran Blessed Geza's days were numbered after he called for a national shutdown to force President Emmerson Mnangagwa to step down. The government faces a fresh headache after Geza posted a video urging Zimbabweans to stay at home to pile pressure on President Mnangagwa to resign. But the government, through Jan van Muswere, pleaded with Zimbabweans to ignore Geza's call for the national shutdown. Jan van Muswere also threatened Geza and others, so-called cyber terrorists, saying that their days were numbered. He also said that Geza is a comedian, madman, and content creator, and he urged people to go to work and work for their families and not be misled in any way by Geza. You also find out that the police yesterday issued a statement that they were going to be protecting the citizens. They said that citizens are free to go on about their business, and the police has released quite a number of policemen onto the streets to ensure that no one is causing chaos and havoc in the streets. The police, in a statement, said that everyone was free to go on about their business, and they're going to make sure that every citizen is protected. They will be at business centers, they will be in the CBD, to ensure that there's no one who's causing havoc, and to ensure that there are no protests which are going to take place. So as of now, I'm not really sure if citizens have actually gone about their business. But as the day progresses, I'll be seeing the situation so that next time I give you a comprehensive report as to what has been happening in regards to what Geza has said in regards to the national shutdown.
All right, Talent, we certainly will be keeping an eye on that. I'd like you to just combine your last two stories. Of course, they are starkly different. 13 injured as trains collide in Gwanda, and do give us an update on police crushing a university lecturer's protest.
Yes, 13 people were injured when goods train was involved in a head-on collision with a passenger train with 47 passengers and 31 staff members on board. However, the National Railways of Zimbabwe has denied the trains belong to the government rail transporter. The National Railways of Zimbabwe say that we have been audited with inquiries concerning the collision of two trains in Uganda today. We informed the nation that NRZ does not operate on the line as it is privately operated, therefore have no mandate to speak on behalf of the organizations involved. However, the NRZ said that they join the nation to wish those who were injured a speedy recovery. But the National Railways of Zimbabwe, they said that they could not speak on the accident because the accident happened on privately owned railway lines. And police last week arrested, or rather they arrested lecturers who were demonstrating at the University of Zimbabwe. The small group of lecturers had gathered at their workplace demanding a salary review from university authorities. The university educators are demanding that their salaries be raised to the pre-October 2018 level, when a junior lecturer was earning 2,500 United States dollars. The arrest came even after the lecturers had sought police and university authorities' permission to go on strike. Apparently, they were allowed to go ahead with their strike, but they were then arrested. And right now, some of them, they are still in police custody. They have not yet been released, and they are seeking bail. So we're going to be monitoring the situation, and also if the courts will actually grant the lecturers who were arrested their bail. Apparently, they were arrested after they sought permission from the police and also from the university authorities.
All right, Talent, thank you very much for delivering the Zimbabwe report.
You're welcome, and thank you very much for having me.
It's always good to have you on Africa Good Morning, and it's always good to have you, our audience. Thank you very much for joining us on DSTV 285, Core TV 25, oneup2.com, and Network Media Hub on YouTube. We'll certainly be back tomorrow, zoning in on Botswana. From me, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, Sweda Zaganaga.